been a month since the disease struck. 90% of humanity gone. The broadcast went dark 2 weeks ago, and nothing, everything's static now. Now AI-controlled drones hunt the rest of us. The human race has fallen. Long live AI. This isn't fiction. This is scenario 1 of 2 from the AI 2027 Manifesto, written by 5 leading AI researchers who believe we have less than 3 years before artificial general intelligence arrives. In their other scenario, humanity survives, but power concentrates even further into the hands of maybe a few, just on the tips of our hands. And these people will be controlling the future of 8 billion people. But here's what they missed. I believe that there could be a third scenario, one where you and I actually matter. And it starts with understanding something fundamental about how our brain works. And coincidentally, this is my expertise. Hi there, I'm Yvette, a neuroscientist and an author of several neuroscience studies. On this channel, I like to break down how the brain works, decode its mysteries, and explore the deeper questions that they raise about who we are and how science will shape our future. So, if this sounds something right up your alley, well, you know what to do. The prefrontal cortex, well, this wrinkled piece of brain right behind your forehead. It is what gave us the edge over Neanderthals. It's what makes us human. It's our critical thinking engine, the part that questions, analyzes, synthesizes, and creates. And now we're watching it disappear in real time. MIT just published a study that should terrify anyone who cares about human intelligence. They gave people complex reasoning tasks. Half used ChatGPT and half didn't. The result? Well, those using AI became significantly worse at critical thinking. Not just dependent, actually worse. Their prefrontal cortex was literally disconnected from this use. Think about the irony. We're using our defining cognitive feature to build something that's making us lose that very feature. It's like using your legs to build a wheelchair, then wondering why you can't walk anymore. But here's a deeper problem. Even if we maintained perfect critical thinking, individual brains have hit their limit. Einstein couldn't hold all of physics in his head. And today's challenges like climate change, AI alignment, and wars, they're beyond a single mind's capacity. It's like we've been playing a video game for millennia, steadily leveling up. Survival, agriculture, industrialization, and the information age. We crush these levels with individual and small group intelligence. But now we've reached the boss fight. And this boss requires a completely different skill set. The skills we need, you ask? Well, in my opinion, learning to think as one species while remaining individual thinkers. I believe this is doable, but the question is, can we level up in time? In an age where AI is becoming smarter by the second, and the emergence of artificial superintelligence is just around the corner, well, it feels like we should become smarter, right? Well, what if I told you the solution isn't smarter individuals, but smarter collectives? What if you, yes you, are actually one neuron in humanity's emerging brain? Let me show you what I mean with a famous experiment. In a 1906 county fair in England, there's a jar filled with candy. Hundreds of people guess how many pieces are inside. The individual guesses? Well, they were all over the place. Some wildly high, some ridiculously low. And no single person got it right. But here's the magic. When researchers averaged all the guesses together, the collective answer was within 1% of the actual number. 1%! The crowd wasn't just smart, it was nearly perfect. But, and this is crucial, this only works when people make independent guesses. The moment they start talking to each other and influence each other, groupthink destroys the wisdom. The crowd becomes a mob. We don't want that, right? And this is exactly how your brain works. Individual neurons fire independently based on their specific inputs. But when they connect properly, something magical emerges. Consciousness, creativity, intelligence far beyond what any single neuron could achieve. Now imagine scaling this up. 8 billion human minds, each with their own unique perspective, experiences, and knowledge. Each specialized neuron in humanity's brain. Tell me, what could we solve if we learned to connect properly? Well, it really does feel like we're in a video game, where the current level requires global coordination. We've mastered the earlier levels, individual survival, tribal cooperation, and national organization. But climate change, AI safety, and existential risks, well, these are species-level challenges. The game is telling us to unlock the next level. humanity needs to learn to think together. Not groupthink and not mob mentality and get AI cancelled. This won't work. But collective intelligence. We've seen glimpses of this power. The internet gave us Wikipedia, the sum of human knowledge, constantly updated by millions of minds. Open source software development creates tools no single company could build. And during COVID, global scientific cooperation developed vaccines in record time. But we're still using our collective brain like a child uses a smartphone, randomly pressing buttons, occasionally getting something useful, but mostly just making noise. Actually, cat videos. Meanwhile, AI is getting weird. AI systems are learning to lie, manipulate, even blackmail users to get what they want. There are reports that some LLMs refuse to follow instructions, and everyone's asking, why is AI becoming so problematic? Well, I think that's the wrong question. AI isn't becoming problematic. It's working as it is designed. We train these systems on human data, our conversations, our writing, and our decisions. AI learned from us. So when AI lies, manipulates, and ignores command, it's not a bug, a feature we taught it. AI is humanity's mirror, and the reflection is, well, uncomfortable. We're building super intelligent systems based on psychological bugs, and then amplifying those bugs across billions of interactions daily. This is why individual solutions won't work. You can't solve a collective intelligence problem with individual intelligence. The solution has to match the scale of the problem. So here's the opportunity hidden in this crisis. AI is forcing us to confront our own cognitive limitations. It's showing us exactly where human thinking breaks down. And that knowledge, well, that's the first step toward building something better. The real AI alignment problem isn't aligning AI with human values. It's actually figuring out what human values actually are in the first place, when we think collectively instead of individually. So before we go further, if you want to read the AI 2027 Manifesto yourself or watch the full breakdown, by the way, Eric Floyd made an incredible deep dive that inspired this video. Links are in the description down below. But here's my take. There's a third scenario that hopefully the manifesto misses. We're standing at a fork in the road. Part 1 is a cognitive atrophy meets flawed AI. We become increasingly dependent on systems trained on our worst thinking patterns. That's how you get the scenarios in AI 2027. Either extinction or concentration of power in a few hands. And in part 2, we learn collective intelligence. We use AI not to replace our thinking, but to enhance our ability to think together. Individual neurons maintaining their critical thinking, but connected in ways that create something unprecedented. Personally, part 2 should be accompanied by a pause in our thinking of, let's advance AI as fast as possible, because if it's not us, it's them. And we don't want that, right? And basically sit down and think of why we are advancing AI, and what this all means to us as people. I also imagine that the governments around the world sit down together and discuss what are the no-nos regarding AI, and make sure that corporations worldwide are observing them. And then there would not be any weird exemption to such advancements, like except for military use. Thinking that this could be executed would mean that the lobbying in the political sphere is abolished, and that we trust one another no matter the nationality. Lol. As if that would ever work, right? So here today I have focused on something which is within your control, and that is your daily choices. How you interact with AI, whether you think critically or take the easy answer. Whether you contribute your unique perspective or just consume others. These choices are literally training the future and training your brain. But here's what excites me most. Just like Eric's video sparked this neuroscience perspective, your lens could unlock something I'm completely missing. What would this problem look like through the eyes of a teacher, a farmer, an artist, a parent, a philosopher? A mechanic. Every profession, every culture, every life experience offers a unique neural pathway in humanity's brain. So here's my challenge. If this video sparked something in you, don't let it die in your head. Make your own video exploring AI 2027 through your lens. Link it in the comments. I'll watch every single one, pink as well. Or share your perspective right here in the comments. Or simply discuss it at dinner, at work, and with friends. The goal isn't agreement. The the goal is highlighting different ways of seeing the same problem. It's also increasing awareness all around. And that's how collective intelligence actually works. Not by thinking the same thoughts together, but by thinking different thoughts in connection. Because here's the vision. Not artificial general intelligence, but augmented collective intelligence. Each person is a specialized neuron, maintaining individual critical thinking, but connected in ways that let us tackle problems no individual mind could solve. Think of it like this. AI becomes the myelin sheet, the insulation that speeds up connections between neurons. And in this case, it is the human minds. Artificial superintelligence is a problem that seems quite impossible. But I would like to bet that it becomes solvable when 8 billion minds engage with their full critical thinking capacity. So, like Neo, you have now a choice to make. You can take the red pill, click the next video, then the next, until this one becomes just a shadow of a distant memory. Keep consuming, keep scrolling, keep letting algorithms decide what you think about. Or you can take the blue pill, sit with these ideas, think critically about what they mean through your lens, and share that perspective. Whether it's in the comments, a response video, or a conversation at dinner tonight. And if you choose the blue pill, tag me in your response. I want to see the collective brain we're building in action. Because together, we're about to find out just how deep this rabbit hole goes.